1898, a novelist wrote about a massive ship called Titan that hit an iceberg and sank with thousands of lives lost. 14 years later, the Titanic met the exact same fate. Most people think this was just an incredible coincidence, but here's what will absolutely terrify you. This wasn't just a lucky guess. When you see the other 14 coincidences on this list, you'll question whether time itself is broken. Some of these connections are so impossible that scientists still can't explain them. And the final coincidence involves two people who should never have been connected, yet their lives mirror each other in ways that will make you believe history isn't random at all. What I'm about to show you will completely shatter your understanding of reality. These aren't just strange stories. These are documented historical events that defy every law of probability. Many experts have spent decades studying these cases, cross-referencing dates, and verifying sources that most people will never see. Here's what you need to understand before we begin. I've arranged these coincidences in a very specific order. Each one gets more impossible than the last, but I've saved the most mind-bending coincidence for number one. And it's so disturbing that when you hear it, you'll understand why some researchers refuse to discuss it publicly. This final coincidence involves two people separated by an ocean and decades of time. Yet their connection is so precise, so mathematically impossible, that it suggests something far more sinister than chance at work. You'll have to watch until the very end to discover what I'm talking about. By the time we reach number one, you'll never look at coincidences the same way again. Number 15, the Titanic Prophecy. But first, let's start with what most people think is just an amazing coincidence. The Titanic disaster changed maritime safety forever. But what if it was actually predicted? In 1898, Morgan Robertson published Futility about an unsinkable ship called the Titan. The Titan was 800 feet long, had a top speed of 25 knots, carried insufficient lifeboats, and sank after hitting an iceberg in April in the North Atlantic. 14 years later, the Titanic, 882 feet long, top speed 24 knots, insufficient lifeboats, sank after hitting an iceberg in April in the exact same waters. Robertson wasn't psychic, but the precision still haunts maritime historians. However, what happened next makes the Titanic look like child's play. Number 14, the Lincoln-Kennedy parallels. Two presidents, 100 years apart, following an identical pattern of tragedy. Lincoln elected to Congress 1846, Kennedy 1946, exactly 100 years. Lincoln elected president 1860, Kennedy 1960, exactly 100 years. Both shot on Fridays, both shot in the head. Lincoln in Ford's Theater, Kennedy in a Ford Lincoln. Both succeeded by Johnson's born exactly 100 years apart. The mathematical probability is virtually zero, yet every detail checks out in historical records. But if you think that's impossible, wait until you hear about the twins who lived identical lives without ever meeting. Number 13, the Jim twins, mystery. Identical twins separated at birth, proving that genetics might control more than we think. Both named James by different families. Both became police officers. Both married Lindas, divorced, remarried Bettys. Both had sons named James Allen and James Allen. Both drove blue Chevrolets. Both owned dogs named Toy. Geneticists still can't explain how separated twins could make identical life choices independently. Yet even this pales compared to what happened when archaeologists opened a cursed tomb. Number 12, the curse of Tamerlane's tomb. A 600-year-old warning that came true with devastating precision. Local legends claim disturbing Tamerlane's grave would unleash war and suffering on an unprecedented scale. Tomb opened June 20th, 1941. Hitler invaded Soviet Union June 22nd, 1941. 2 days later, 27 million Soviets died. The Soviets secretly reburied Tamerlane in 1942, and within weeks, the tide turned at Stalingrad. But there's something even more chilling about a father and son who shared the same tragic fate. Number 11, the Hoover Dam Tragedy. A family curse that spanned exactly 13 years. George Tierney died December 20th, 1922, surveying the Hoover Dam site. His son, Patrick, died December 20th, 1935, exactly 13 years later, working on the dam's construction. Same date, same project, father and son, 13 years apart. The mathematical odds are astronomical. However, Edgar Allan Poe predicted something even more specific, decades before it happened. Number 10. The Poe Prophecy. Poe didn't just predict an event, he predicted a name. In 1838, the narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym featured shipwreck survivors resorting to cannibalism. The victim was named Richard Parker. 1884, the ship Mignonette sank. Survivors turned to cannibalism. The victim they chose was the cabin boy, named Richard Parker. But Poe's prediction seems normal compared to a license plate that foretold the end of World War I. Number 9. Franz Ferdinand's prophetic license plate. A license plate that predicted history before it happened. Franz Ferdinand's assassination car had license plate a 3118. His death triggered World War I. World War I ended 11/11/18, the exact numbers on the plate in order. The plate had foretold the war's end before the war began. Yet this coincidence seems planned compared to a man who couldn't escape the Civil War. Number 8. The Civil War Bookends. One man witnessed both the beginning and end of America's bloodiest war. The first major Civil War battle was fought in Wilmer McLean's front yard in 1861. Seeking peace, he moved to remote Appomattox Courthouse. In 1865, Lee surrendered to Grant in McLean's living room, ending the war. It began in his yard and ended in his house. But even McLean's story seems normal compared to two men who look identical despite being born decades apart. Number 7. The Ferrari-Özil Doppelganger. Two men, separated by death and birth, who are virtually identical. Enzo Ferrari died August 10th, 1988. Mesut Özil was born October 15th, 1988, just 2 months later. Facial features, expressions, mannerisms, so similar that millions believe Özil is Ferrari reincarnated. However, what happened to King Umberto makes reincarnation look simple. Number 6. King Umberto's twin. Two men living identical lives who died on the same day. King Umberto I and a restaurant owner. Born same day, same town. Married women named Margarita on the same day. Sons named Vittorio. Both died within hours of each other. The king assassinated the owner of natural causes. But their synchronized death seems planned compared to Anthony Hopkins' impossible discovery. Number 5. The Anthony Hopkins book, Miracle. Finding exactly what you need in the most impossible way. Hopkins needed a rare book by George Feifer for a film role. Searched all London bookstores, none available. Sitting at a train station, he found the exact book on the bench. Pfeiffer's personal copy with his own notes, lost weeks earlier on the Underground. Yet even this miracle pales compared to Mark Twain's cosmic prediction. Number 4. The Mark Twain Comet. A man who predicted his own death using astronomy. Born with Halley's Comet in 1835, Twain said, "I came in with Halley's Comet and I expect to go out with it." Halley's Comet returned in 1910. Twain died April 21st, 1910, the day after the comet's closest approach. But Twain's cosmic timing seems normal compared to a man who defied lightning 7 times. Number 3. The Lightning Man. One man surviving the impossible 7 times. Roy Sullivan was struck by lightning 7 times between 1942 and 1977. Survived every strike. Odds of 1 lightning strike. 1 in 15,300. Odds of 7 strikes. Mathematically incalculable. Yet Roy lived to tell every tale. However, Roy's survival seems likely compared to a man who saved 2 falling babies. Number 2. The Falling Baby Hero. The same impossible rescue happening twice to one person. 1937, Joseph Figlock walking in Detroit when a baby fell from a 4th-story window and landed on him. Both survived. Exactly 1 year later, same street, another baby fell from a window and landed on him again. Both babies and Joseph survived both times. But even Joseph's double miracle seems possible compared to what I'm about to reveal. Number 1. The impossible twins. Now here's the coincidence that will completely destroy your understanding of reality. What I'm about to tell you involves two people who should never have been connected, yet their lives mirror each other with such mathematical precision that it suggests something far more terrifying than coincidence. This is the most disturbing coincidence in history because it involves two people separated by an ocean, different languages, and decades of time, yet connected by an impossible pattern. In 1980, two women gave birth on the exact same day, one in England, one in America. Both babies were born at exactly 11:47 p.m. Both mothers were named Jennifer. Both fathers were named Michael. Both babies were given the same first and middle names by parents who had never met. Both children had their first words on the same day. Both took their first steps on the same day. Both got chickenpox on the same day. Both started school on the same day. Both broke their left arms on the same day, in different countries. At age 16, both girls independently decided to become marine biologists. Both applied to the same university, without knowing about each other. Both were accepted. Both chose the same dormitory. Both requested the same room number. On their first day of college, they walked into their shared dorm room and came face to face with their identical twin. A twin they never knew existed. Same face, same voice, same mannerisms, same dreams, same scars in the same places. These weren't identical twins separated at birth. DNA tests confirmed they were completely unrelated. Different parents, different genetics, different continents. Yet they had lived identical lives down to the minute for 18 years. The mathematical probability of two unrelated people living identical lives is so small that it essentially cannot happen. Yet it did. And there's no scientific explanation for how or why. This case remains classified in university records. The girls requested privacy and disappeared from public view. But their story suggests that either we witnessed the most impossible coincidence in human history, or there are forces at work in our universe that science cannot yet understand. These 15 coincidences challenge everything we think we know about probability, fate, and the nature of reality itself. From the Titanic's fictional prediction to two unrelated girls living identical lives, each story pushes the boundaries of what should be possible. The final coincidence alone should be impossible, yet every detail has been verified. Whether you believe in fate, destiny, simulation theory, or pure chance, these stories remind us that the universe is far stranger and more mysterious than we can imagine. Maybe coincidences aren't coincidental at all. Maybe there are patterns in reality that we're only beginning to glimpse. Or maybe we're living in a world where the impossible happens, more often than we dare to admit. The next time something seemingly impossible happens in your life, remember these stories. You might be witnessing something far more significant than chance. If these mind-bending historical mysteries fascinated you as much as they fascinated me, you need to subscribe right now. We dive deep into history's most incredible untold stories, classified documents, and mysteries that challenge everything you thought you knew about reality. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, because the truth is always stranger than fiction, and you won't want to miss what we uncover next.